Does it ever feel like you're stuck in a cycle? Waking up, going to work, dealing with responsibilities, and then repeating it all over again the next day? The daily grind can feel draining, and after a while, it might seem like everything you do is meaningless. The constant repetition of routines, commuting, working, handling responsibilities can begin to weigh on your mind and spirit. But what if there's a way to find strength, purpose, and dignity even in the most repetitive aspects of life? Stoicism offers us a powerful perspective on this very issue. Life's routines don't have to be empty or draining. They can be opportunities for growth, reflection, and virtue. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "You can live well even in a palace or a prison." This means that your environment, no matter how repetitive or mundane it may seem, doesn't have to define your mental strength or your sense of purpose. It's how you approach it, how you respond to it, that makes all the difference. In this video, we'll explore how Stoicism teaches us to stay mentally strong and find meaning even in the most repetitive aspects of life. By embracing dignity, virtue, and mindfulness, we can transform the mundane into opportunities for growth. Stick with us, because the best part of this journey is yet to come. And if you know someone who might benefit from this Stoic wisdom, share this video with them. Let's take a moment to reflect on a powerful quote from Epictetus. "You can live well even in a palace or a prison." At first, this may seem like an odd comparison. How could someone find peace and purpose in a prison? But Epictetus is pointing out something crucial. Our circumstances do not define our ability to live virtuously or mentally strong. Whether we live in luxury or face a difficult, repetitive situation, it is our mindset and how we respond to our environment that matters most. In the context of daily routines, this quote offers profound wisdom. The repetitive tasks of work, commuting, or household responsibilities may seem dull, but they don't have to be meaningless. We always have the power to choose how we engage with them. Stoicism teaches us that our strength comes from within, and that every moment, even the most mundane, can be approached with purpose and dignity. When life feels repetitive, the key is not to focus on the monotony, but to find the meaning in it. It's about shifting our perspective, recognizing that we always have the ability to respond with virtue, regardless of the situation. In life's most repetitive moments, it's easy to feel like we're stuck in a loop, a never-ending cycle of work, responsibilities, and tasks that seem to have little meaning beyond their immediate completion. The daily grind can be exhausting, and it's tempting to believe that the value of life lies only in the exciting, dramatic, or novel experiences. But Stoicism teaches us to find virtue and purpose in even the most repetitive tasks, allowing us to find dignity in the routine. Epictetus' quote, "You can live well even in a palace or a prison," highlights a core Stoic idea. Our environment doesn't define us. We have the power to choose how we respond to every situation. Whether we're working in a palace or a small apartment, whether we're commuting or spending the day at home, what matters is not the environment itself, but how we approach it. Take a moment to reflect. How often do you feel trapped in the monotony of your daily routine? How many times do you catch yourself wishing for a change of pace, only to find that, day after day, you're facing the same cycle? Stoicism reminds us that instead of wishing for different circumstances, we can find meaning and strength in the circumstances we already have. When we begin to see repetition not as a burden, but as an opportunity to practice virtue, we reclaim control over our mental strength. Routine tasks become chances to practice mindfulness, focus, and patience. For example, instead of feeling drained by the commute, we can choose to see it as a time for reflection or even for practicing gratitude. Instead of resenting the daily work grind, we can focus on doing our best, finding pride in our contributions and acting with integrity. By embracing this mindset, we stop viewing repetition as a source of frustration and start seeing it as a path to personal growth. Whether it's the simple act of making your bed in the morning, focusing fully on a task at work, or treating a difficult situation with patience, we can find opportunities to live virtuously every day. Stoicism teaches us that it's not about what we're doing, but how we're doing it. Every moment holds the potential for greatness, if we choose to engage with it mindfully. Ask yourself, what would it look like if I embraced the repetition in my life as an opportunity for growth? How can I take pride in my daily responsibilities, even if they feel small or meaningless? By shifting our mindset, we can transform the most mundane tasks into meaningful acts of virtue. The daily routines and repetitive tasks that make up much of our lives can feel draining, even meaningless at times. Whether it's the commute, the endless work meetings, or the constant responsibilities at home, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the sheer repetitiveness of it all. But Stoicism teaches us that it is not the repetition that drains us, it is our attitude toward it. We have the power to transform these mundane moments into opportunities for virtue, growth, and purpose. 1. The power of perspective. One of the key Stoic principles is amor fati, or the love of fate. This means embracing all aspects of life, both the exciting and the repetitive, as part of our journey. Instead of resisting the routine, Stoicism encourages us to accept it with a sense of gratitude and purpose. Every moment, even the most repetitive, is an opportunity to practice virtue, whether it's patience, discipline, focus, or gratitude. For example, when you're stuck in traffic or commuting to work, it's easy to feel frustrated or bored. But if we adopt a Stoic perspective, we can see this time as an opportunity to practice mindfulness, to reflect, or even to be grateful for the simple ability to travel. This shift in perspective turns a mundane task into an act of presence and awareness. It's not the activity itself that wears us out, it's our resistance to it, too. Virtue in the everyday. Stoicism teaches that we don't need grand events to practice virtue. In fact, it's the small, everyday tasks that allow us to cultivate the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Every decision, no matter how small, is an opportunity to act with integrity. For example, when you're doing repetitive work tasks, instead of feeling drained, you can find pride in doing your best. You can choose to act with excellence, even when the task feels monotonous. This is where Stoicism really shines. It shows us that virtue is not reserved for extraordinary moments, but is something we practice in the ordinary, in the simple act of doing what is right. Finding meaning in repetition. In Stoic thought, there is no such thing as a meaningless task. What makes a task meaningful is the purpose we give it and the way we approach it. If we find ourselves trapped in repetitive work, it can be helpful to step back and ask ourselves why this task matters, even if we can't see it at first. Maybe it's part of a bigger project, or maybe it's serving others in a way we can't immediately recognize. Stoicism teaches us to accept the role we play in the larger picture, finding meaning in every task, no matter how repetitive or small it may seem. Even in moments that feel mundane, like taking out the trash or cleaning, we can see these actions as an opportunity to practice discipline and maintain order in our lives. In a world that often emphasizes achieving big, flashy goals, Stoicism reminds us that there is great value in the simple act of showing up and doing what needs to be done with integrity and care. 4. Embracing responsibility. A big part of Stoic strength is taking responsibility for our own actions, regardless of how repetitive or overwhelming they may feel. This is what Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, You can live well even in a palace or a prison. Whether your day is filled with exciting challenges or repetitive duties, you have the power to choose how you respond. The key to mental strength in repetitive life lies in our ability to take ownership of our actions and approach them with dignity, regardless of how we feel in the moment. If life feels monotonous, it may be a sign that we are resisting the responsibilities placed before us. Instead of fighting against these duties, we can embrace them with a sense of purpose, knowing that we have the ability to shape our experience, no matter the task at hand. When we take full responsibility for our actions, we reclaim our power and see the repetition as a series of opportunities for growth. Practical steps to stay mentally strong in repetition. Shift your perspective. When faced with repetitive tasks, practice shifting your mindset. Instead of focusing on how draining the task is, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I approach this with patience and mindfulness? Focus on virtue. Every task, no matter how small, is an opportunity to practice a Stoic virtue. Whether you're working or commuting, think about how you can approach this task with wisdom, courage, and temperance. Take pride in doing your best, even in the smallest actions. Embrace the routine. Accept the repetition as part of life, instead of resisting it. Try to find meaning in each action. See the routine as an opportunity to practice mindfulness. Cultivate patience and build character. Reflect on your purpose. Even the most repetitive tasks can serve a greater purpose. Reflect on how your work contributes to the larger picture and the role you play in making things happen. This can help you find meaning in even the most mundane activities. Take responsibility. Remember that your response to each repetitive task is within your control. Embrace the responsibility you have in shaping your daily life, and recognize that your attitude and actions are what define your experience. By applying these Stoic principles, we can shift our focus from the monotonous aspects of life to the opportunities for growth that exist within every task. It's not about the work itself, it's about how we approach it. When we choose to respond with dignity, virtue, and mindfulness, we can find purpose and strength in the repetition, in life's most repetitive moments. Stoicism reminds us that we always have the power to choose our response. The work, the commute, the responsibilities, they don't have to drain us or leave us feeling stuck. Rather than focusing on how monotonous these tasks can be, Stoicism invites us to see them as opportunities for growth, virtue, and mindfulness. By shifting our perspective and embracing the routine, we can find purpose and strength in every moment. As Epictetus wisely said, you can live well even in a palace or a prison. Whether you're navigating a routine job, a difficult commute, or any other repetitive task, the power lies in how you choose to approach it. You have the ability to find dignity, virtue, and meaning, even in the most ordinary aspects of life. It's not the external world that defines you, but the mindset you bring to it. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by the repetitiveness of life, take a moment to reflect. How can I approach this with mindfulness and purpose? How can I use this task as an opportunity to practice virtue and cultivate strength? By embracing your responsibilities with dignity and choosing to engage with them mindfully, you can transform even the most monotonous moments into meaningful steps toward growth. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and share it with anyone who might benefit from Stoic wisdom on how to stay mentally strong during repetitive tasks. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. How do you approach repetitive aspects of your life with purpose and strength?